to the team is ballin', yeah. I get that back in the double it. We got the heat, yeah, we bubbling. Heard all that talk ain't enough. Marrying the game, I'm in love with it.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are again, we're in the middle of a road trip, and this is gonna be an emotional road trip. And funnily enough, this car will also have connection to that emotional stuff. So stay tuned and have fun and enjoy the video.
It's the life that we have chose. I hit the gas on one road. I had to do it on my own. I take my chances every low. I live this life while you just talk about it. Put my money where my mouth is and I keep it solid.
So set wrap, we reached one of the Borg, and I was actually in Bingen, but because I was not prepared at all, means I didn't know what to do. So in this case, I'm just gonna go out and take a look a bit because the view is amazing. It's just really hard to find a parking space, and yesterday has been snowing really hard, and because it's kind of cold right now, so it's kind of like -1, and at some part it was -5, so the snow turned into ice, which make it not ideal if, for example, if you go to the autobahn and then it says you are allowed to drive as fast as you can. And you know, actually at one point I was thinking like, I'm taking part in kind of like the World Rally Championship because this car slides on the left lane, and yeah, and luckily it was quite empty, so I'm lucky. And to reach here, I just went up the hill, and it was so narrow. So if any car come from up here down, it's gonna be very interesting. But yeah, so I'm gonna go out and take a look like where actually I'm at, because otherwise we're gonna hit another place, and hopefully there we can find a better kind of like viewing point, so I can talk a bit and then also make some video for you guys with the view, because we are actually at the river Rhine. So I think it's either the biggest river in Germany or the longest river, one of them. I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna write it down here once I done my research, means googling it. So yeah, stay tuned. Today is Sunday. It is a rainy Sunday here in Berlin, and you are joining me in BMW X3 M40i. This is the latest iteration of X3 M40i. Means it has the same engine as M340i and as the new Supra, but not the Supra that we got in Europe, but the one that you guys get in US. So it produces a very healthy 374 horsepower, if I'm not mistaken. And this thing is a lot of fun. So I've been driving the X3 for the last around 1,300 kilometers over 2 days. Yeah, and actually before this I just went to visit a place that my dad used to recommend me before I came to Germany. It was like, I don't know, like 100 years ago. And also, like, funnily enough, this car, the X3, is actually the only BMW or the only European car that my dad ever wanted in his life. And by the way, he passed away like last year. That's why, like I said, the road trip was quite emotional. So I went to the place that he told me to visit since the beginning, and driving in a car that he wanted. And yeah, and to be fair, my dad has been sick for quite a while. That's why, like, I actually never had a chance to drive him in my car. Yeah, so let's go out of the somber topic and talk about the X3 M40i. Another thing, or another reason why this car is interesting is because I had a Macan GTS, and if you know, Macan GTS, before the facelift, it produces 360 horsepower from a 2.9 liter turbocharged V6, which is, by the way, a very nice engine. And it produces any like this kind of like sound that's, I think it's good, and it was quite loud as well, because it was like, mine was from the production year of 2016, so it didn't have any filter. As this X3 M40i has 374, so around about 370, 380 horsepower, they're in between. That's why it's actually a very direct competitor to Porsche Macan GTS. Well, but let's go to the plus and minus from X3. So X3 has actually this kind of like design language that makes it very similar to X5. So if you see, like, the window panel here is really low, so you get more visibility, and it didn't have any coupe complex that cuts down the back, like the loading room, the boot. So actually it is a little bit more practical than Macan, but only marginally. So there's not really much in it, right? And that's the first thing. The second thing, let's talk about the sound. So this is a very new car, so it's the production year 2021. Oh, I mean 2020 to 2023, as you can see from the LCI, the new LED lights with the laser. Normally X3 didn't get any laser, but the latest one gets. And also, like, the whole bits and bobs that they put in this, not really an M car, to make it look like an M, like the mirror, and also like all of the fake fans that try to make the car a little bit more aggressive. So means this car has a filter, and means this car is not very loud, right? And in that department, in direct comparison to my old Macan GTS, this car is a little bit quiet. But the last time I heard a Macan GTS in a basement, right? So the guy just went out of his parking space, and that thing was also almost as it's like, it's basically like it didn't have any sound. Let's just say it that way, right? So quite disappointing. That's from the sound department. Like, it's not the most exciting ever, the X3 M40i, but it's also not that bad. Like, you know, let's not be around the bushes here. I mean, like, all of the new cars are getting quieter and quieter, and at one point this kind of like level of volume, level of sound gonna be our benchmark. Like it or hate it, it's just the reality, right? But let's go to more exciting stuff, the engine. So this is the same engine that they put in Supra, the M340i, and I think also like the new M240i. So basically BMW is making the MX, like, you know, like the M and that ends with 40, the same engine. So they have the same engine. And by the way, I think yesterday I saw a new X5 with the same engine. So now they're making X5 M40i, which is very interesting. I mean, I think V6 with 370, 380 horsepower is able to carry the big body of X5, and if they are if they market it right, I think it's gonna be enough for a lot of people. And by the way, this engine, coupled with the suspension, by the way, suspension, you can see it now. I am now in Berlin, so the street is not very nice. My phone is already like jiggling around. Coupled with the suspensions, and also like with the with the whole setup, so like, you know, the throttle response, this and that, blah blah blah, it's actually a very nice package. And because, you know, like a lot of people, like, they don't really drive like full throttle all the time, right? Like sometimes they just, like, you know, push half, push quarter, and this and that, and blah blah blah. And the engine and the throttle, it has this kind of like, I don't know, it reacts differently to different inputs. So it's not like if you don't push it full on, it will only stay at one level. So it has like different level and different tones. So quite interesting. Like, and I mean, like, for not a real M car, I guess it's not that bad, to be honest. So by the way, I need to concentrate here. Okay, didn't make it the first try. 1 second. And yeah, and another thing is that actually this car X3 M40i is also like the daily of Sam from Sin to True Glass, and he always said the X3M is not dailyable, and this car is doable for daily. I think he's right. And I mean, like, the guy have had two X3 M40, like the first one being M40i, the second one being M40d, I guess, the which is the one they are currently driving, so his wife and him. And having been driving this up and down the autobahn, I think he is right, because the suspension, it is not killing you, but it is also not the most refined suspension. So if like there's like part in German autobahn that it's just a little bit wavy, so you're gonna be like going slowly, like to the front and to the back, so you're jiggling around a bit. But thinking about this, if I drive X3M, the real M car, that's gonna be bad. I mean, for SUV, I think the suspension is not gonna be livable for daily. And also, like, let's go to the another aspect, like how sporty it is. So like, of course, it's not the real M, this is not the full-on M, this is X3 M40i. So some stuff are not really customizable. So you cannot customize your braking, you cannot customize your steering and everything, like, you know, individually, like the one that we already seen in M8, M4, the normal M stuff, right? So it's more like simpler car to drive. So if you really want to go sport, you can choose sport standard or sport plus or individual, or you go comfort or eco. Basically, you know, no fun, just save the just saving the petrol. So I think like it is like for daily, a car that you don't need to think about too much. If you want to go normal, then you push the comfort, and if you want to overtake someone or go a bit faster, then you put in sport. So this is a good package. But as I said before, it's not very customizable. So if you are into that kind of stuff, then I guess like get an M3, because I cannot recommend the X3M. Well, it has all-wheel drive, I guess, but the new M3 also has all-wheel drive. But in general, in between X3M and X3 M40i, I think like X3 M40i is like really the sweet spot in the whole X3 range. So it has enough power, and you know, like I think like it's still a good sporty SUV. As for X3M, I don't know. I don't even know if someone gonna need it. Like, if you are that one person that need X3M, please write in comment below why. Maybe you have kids, but then you can also get like, I don't know, RS6, RS4, which has a little bit more, I think like it's a little bit more aerodynamic than X3, means less fuel consumption. But yeah, all right, I already arrived and parked this car. Then I'm gonna see you next time. So I think I need to clarify why this video or this road trip is emotional. First thing first, because the destination that I chose is the one place that my dad recommended me when I first came to Germany. It was a long time ago, kind of like, I don't know, 13 years ago, I guess. But I have never been there. But he always recommended me that place, and I've never been there. And secondly, because my dad has never had a German car throughout his life, so he passed away kind of like 1 year ago or something. But the only German car that he was interested in was the X3. And right, the first generation X3, the ugliest one. And the fact that I get an X3 M40i, yeah, it is the latest one, but it's still an X3, and I did a road trip into that place, so it's kind of like a little bit emotional. So like, because my dad has never really like been there when I start having cars, so it was like back in 2017 or something like that, where I got my first car in Germany. So he never had the chance to come over, because I think back in the days he was busy, and then he got his disease. It started with stroke and so on and so on, and he passed away recently. So yeah, I think like and I think it's also like what makes me really like to share experience of driving cars with others, because at the end of the day, nice cars is nice, but if you cannot share it with anyone, I think it's also kind of like a little bit lonely. So yeah, that's why like these days, if I have a chance to share certain experience, like, you know, to drive like certain cars, like for example, like a friend of mine, he really loved Porsche, and one day I get like this loanie for 7 days, and I let him drive the car. It's just priceless. So yeah, and that's also actually like the genesis of this channel. So I want to share my car journey and see, like, you know, if like I have really the feeling that there's like power in sharing stories or journey, or like in shared experience. Maybe it's not the same as sitting in the car, but in the future, if everything goes well, maybe we can do a meetup or something. But at the end of the day, if you have the privilege of having a nice car, share it with others, and you never know if they're still there to live. They are still alive by the time you want to share the experience. So yeah,